In this video, we will talk about the Hardy Weinberg Equilibrium. Our habitat is a sports equipment closet where we have our basketballs, big A genotype, soccer balls, big A, and tennis balls, little a. The sports balls are diploid organisms that reproduce through mating. Initially, we have 100 balls broken into 16 basketballs, 48 soccer balls, and 36 tennis balls. Let's calculate a few things about our initial population. For allelic frequencies, we want to find our p-value, which is the frequency of the big A alleles, and our q-value, which is the frequency of the little a alleles. We then divide these numbers by the number of total alleles, 2 for each of the 100 organisms, and we get these p and q values. For the genotypic frequencies, we simply take the number of organisms for each of the genotypes and divide by the total number of organisms. We can now take our p and q values over to the next slide. To test whether the initial population is in Hardy Weinberg equilibrium or not, we use the equation for Hardy Weinberg equilibrium, where p squared is the frequency of the big A, 2pq is the frequency of the big A, and q squared is the frequency of the little a. We can now take our p and q values that we found, plug them into the equation, and we get the same values that we did for the genotypic frequencies, 0.16, 0.48, and 0.36. So we can conclude that yes, in fact, the initial population is in Hardy Weinberg equilibrium. Back in the sports equipment closet, the balls have been sitting for generations, and because they are in Hardy Weinberg equilibrium, the allelic frequencies have stayed constant. However, in gym time, all of the preschoolers come running into the closet and grab whatever balls they can. They lose the balls, and no ball ever comes back to the closet. Here we will see how fitness will break the no selection assumption for Hardy Weinberg equilibrium. Because of their tiny hands, the preschoolers have a hard time grabbing the basketballs. The medium-sized soccer balls are slightly easier to grab, and the small tennis balls are very easy to grab, giving these hypothetical fitnesses. Initially, these are our frequencies for each of the genotypes. Here are the hypothetical fitnesses. Multiplying those two, we get our unadjusted survivors. Adding the 3 unadjusted survivor values, we get our average fitness. Dividing each of those 3 unadjusted survivor numbers by the average fitness gives us our final frequency, genotypic frequency, after selection has occurred. Let's calculate a few things about our final population. The genotypic frequencies are given here. Now we can calculate our allelic frequencies. Let's see how the genotypic frequencies were affected by the selection. We can see that the frequency of the big A increased, the same for the big A, but the frequency of the little a actually decreased. Here we can see how there's a selection against the extreme being the small tennis balls. This is called directional selection. This makes sense because the basketball had the highest fitness value. After an infinite number of generations, the small a allele will be eliminated from the population, leaving only basketballs.